What's up, people? I am back. Alright, today, people, we're going to talk about how to use scale. We're going to do some scale drawing things. We're going to do some proportion work. Going to review some of that. Going to talk about how to take something smaller and make it into something bigger, find some areas. So we got all kinds of stuff we're going to be doing with scale today, because you need some space and I need some space, and here we go. Solving scale starts now. Alright, so if you know that song, you can send it to me later. Alright, so let's say you start out and on the problem, up in the corner somewhere, maybe in the corner, in the top corner, or in the bottom corner, it says something like this: 3 centimeters equals 13 feet. Alright, so you need to look and find that. That is the key to the whole thing. So wherever that is on the paper, that is going to be the key. Okay, you need to find out what the scale is. So I'm going to show you a couple different ones, like on some of these assignments you're going to be doing. So like right here on this page, you can see it says scale is 3 centimeters equals 13 feet. Or on this one right here, you can see the scale is 3 centimeters equals 1,200 miles. Or on this one about the North Carolina map, right up here, it says 6 centimeters equals 32 miles. So every time you get one of these assignments about scale, you need to look and find where this is, okay? Now to solve these, we are going to set up and solve proportions, okay? So to solve scale, set up and solve. So you got to do two things, right? You got to set one up first. You got to solve it, number 2, proportions. Okay? So you got to set up and solve proportions. So you may need to get a ruler for some of these things, okay? Because some of these things I am going to have you actually measuring. So if you don't have a ruler, some of this stuff might be hard for you, okay? So you might need to get a ruler, because we're going to be measuring between cities and measuring between battle places in World War II, because we're going to tie it into your social studies class. Some of these things we're just going to be measuring around some rooms and things like that. You're going to be measuring some sharks, okay? So there's all kinds of different things you're going to be doing. I'll show you. I got one other one here. I'll show you where it's got the scale stuff on it, okay? So like on this one, it says the scale is 4 centimeters equals 3 meters, okay? So on this one, you're going to be measuring some sharks. All right, but anyway, let's just pretend, okay, that we are measuring this room right here. I'm going to draw a room out, okay? So this is about as hard as it can get. So we're going to start here, and let's say this is my room, Mr. Reid's room, baby. All right, so I've got a room down in the basement that I just finished working on not too long ago, where I've got all my musical stuff, my guitars and amps and all my jazz down there. So let's pretend this is the room down there, okay? And let's say that we actually, hold on, I'm going to run over here and get a ruler so we can actually do it this way, so it can actually be right. I don't know if you can still hear me or not. I'll come over here, give me a ruler. All right. Okay. So I walked over there by the door and got my ruler. So let's say we're going to measure this in centimeters, okay? So I'm actually got my ruler out. Hopefully y'all can see that. I got the clear one. So this basically looks like, okay, so that'd be 1, 2, 3, about 4.8 centimeters, right? So we're going to go to the millimeter right here. So that's 4.5. 1, 2, 4.8 centimeters this way. All right, so I got that measurement. And then I'm just going to spin my paper around this way so you can kind of see it a little bit better. So from here to here is basically, that's 1, 2, 3, 3.5 centimeters, okay? So right here, 3.5 centimeters. So those are my measurements, okay? Again, I did that in centimeters, okay? And then, you know, right there, you can see 10 millimeters equals a centimeter. So that's 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters. By the way, all right, let's say we're going to use this scale up here, okay? 3 centimeters equals 13 feet. And I'm going to find the area of my room, okay? So this is actually called a dimensions problem, okay? So I got my length here, because the length is the longer one. And I've got the width here, and it's the shorter one, okay? And what I want to do is find the area in square feet, okay? Find the area in square feet. That is my task. And this ties in, like, you know, if you're doing something at home, you know, and you've got a blueprint and you're trying to figure out how many square feet that room is going to be, you're going to buy some flooring for it, carpet for it. We're going to talk more about that stuff later on, but this is just the basics today, okay? So I'm going to have to set up 2 proportions. All right, so I'm going to set me up a little T-chart down here. You know how I like T-charts. All right, so over here on the left, I'm going to do the length one. And over here on the right, I'm going to do the width one. And then lastly, once I get that figured out, I will find the area, which of course is going to be in square feet. All right, so we got to do two proportions. Okay, so when you do a dimensions problem, okay, and this is the dimensions, length and width are the dimensions. So when you do dimensions, takes two proportions. So I hope at this point you're still hanging with me. We're about 5 minutes or so in, so this is kind of important stuff. So the dimensions is going to take two proportions. The first proportion would be this, okay? Take the scale, which is 3 centimeters over 13 feet, there. All right, and also going to put it over here, 3 centimeters over 13 feet. All right, again, I had that written up here at the top of the paper, right? The scale we're using on this is 3 centimeters equals 13 feet. So I'm going to write it as a little ratio right there. Write it as a little ratio right there. All right, the number I had for the length, okay, was 4.8 centimeters. Since I have centimeters on top here, I'm going to put the centimeters on top here, and I'm going to put an L down here for length, okay, because I don't know how many feet it is at the moment. I'm trying to change this into feet. All right, so for the width one, I had 3.5 centimeters for the width. All right, so that would be 3.5 centimeters, and down here I'm going to put my W. Okay, so now we've got the two proportions set up because this is a dimensions question, and we got to do two proportions. So now I'm going to hunker down on one of them at a time. We'll close down on them a little bit so we can kind of block out some of that other stuff. All right, so if you'll remember, to solve a proportion, we're going to do cross products. So we're going to do 13 times 4.8, and then I'm going to do 3 times L. Okay, so 3 times L, of course, is just 3L, or 3 times the length. Now for the other one, okay, I can actually pull my calculator out here, and hopefully you can see that. So I am doing 13 times 4.8, and 13 times 4.8 is 62.4. All right, and then of course I've got to divide by 3 on both sides, just like I normally would do on any other equation. So 3 divided by 3, of course, is 1, so they cancel out. So now I'm going to find out what the real length of the room is in feet. So 62.4 divided by 3. 62.4 divided by 3 is 20.8. Y'all can see that right there, hopefully, 20.8. So that is 20.8 feet for the length. All right, so set up my proportion, use cross products, which means I end up dividing by 3, and that 62.4 divided by 3 means the length is 20.8 feet. All right, now we're going to come over here and do the one for the width. Same kind of thing, okay? 3 times W is 3W, and I got to do 13 times 3.5. So 13 times 3.5 is 45.5. All right, so now I've got my cross products, and I got to do a little one step here to solve it. So I got to divide by 3 on both sides. 3 divided by 3 is 1. They cancel out. And so my width for my room, when I divide that by 3, is, now again we're going to the hundredths place, so that would be 15.17. 15.17 feet. All right, so now I have my two dimensions. All right, I've got my length, 20.8 feet. I've got my width. Of course, since it's a rectangle, to get the area, I'm just doing length times width over here. So I've got to do 20.8, which is my length, times my width, which is 15.17. And we'll go ahead and do that right here. Y'all see that okay? 20.8 times 15.17. And so that means the area of my room up there is 315.54, because there's a 6 right there. I've got to round that up to a 4 feet squared. So if I was going out to buy flooring, whether I was going out to buy carpet, or whether I was going to go out and buy hardwood, or whatever, tile, whatever it might be that I'm putting down on the floor, okay, I would need to buy a little more than that, okay, because you always want to have some extra left over, but you at least need to buy 316 square feet of whatever. At least that gives you, it gives you an idea of what you're going to be needing to get and how much you might need to spend on the flooring. Okay, so you always want to put that as your first thing you write down. So the scale is 3/13. I put it there, 3/13, 3/13. I measured here to the nearest millimeter, 4.8 centimeters that way, 3.5 centimeters that way. Did the length for this one, did the width for this one. Of course, we did our cross products and solved them. When you get the length and your width, those are your two dimensions. You multiply those together to get the area. All right, so let's just pretend this time we're going to do one of these shark questions. All right, so let's say, we've got these different little sharks you're going to measure out. And so I'm just going to make one up. So let's say we're doing, for this one real fast to finish up, let's say we're doing a tiger shark, okay? And on this particular page, it says that the scale is 4 centimeters equals 3 meters. You can see it right there. 4 centimeters equals 3 meters. Okay, and let's say you get your ruler out and you measure the, you measure the tiger shark, and let's say it comes up, and when you measure the tiger shark from here to here, let's just say it comes up to be 8.7 centimeters. Okay, so when you measure it, 8.7 centimeters is what you get. All right, so we know the tiger shark on the page is 8.7 centimeters. We know the scale is this right here. All right. So now we're going, for this, of course, you only have to do one proportion. There's, you don't have two dimensions to do on this one. So you go 4 centimeters over 3 meters equals, now our measurement we had here was 8.7 centimeters over x. Okay? So again, we're setting up a proportion. So we've set up the proportion. Now we got to solve the proportion. Simple stuff, right? We're going to do a cross product here. 4 times x is 4x. 3 times 8.7. Let's see what 3 times 8.7 is. 3 times 8.7 is 26.1. Hopefully you can see that right there, 26.1. All right, so I got 4 times x is 4x. 3 times 8.7 is 26.1. Now, of course, all I got to do to finish that out is divide by 4 on both sides to solve my little one-step equation there. So let's take that and divide it by 4, and so that means 6.53. If we round it to the hundredths place, 6.53 meters. In real life, that would be how long the tiger shark is. Okay, that's how big it was on the paper. Okay, but when we use the scale and we transfer it through here using our proportion, in reality, the tiger shark would be about 6.5 meters long. Okay, and a meter is bigger than 3 feet. Okay, so think about 6 meters. That's pretty long. All right, so there you go. Hopefully that gives you an introduction on how to get these bad boys solved. So again, you're going to have to set up proportions and solve proportions. It just depends on what kind of question it is. So if it is a room where you're doing dimensions, you're going to have to do one for the length and width and solve those. Okay, and then you might have to multiply the answers together to get the area, do your length times width. If it's like one of these tiger shark questions, you're just going to have to do one and take the measurement that you get on your ruler and transfer it over into how long it really is in the real world, which would be that. So remember, this is the key right here. Find that and then set up and solve proportions. Okay, might have to do one, might have to do two, just depends on the kind of question. All right, hope you're feeling all right. Hope you're doing all right. And if you got questions, you know where to send me the emails. If you know the name of this song right here, send me the name of the artist for this song, and send me any questions that you got. All right, hope you're successful with the scale stuff. Until next time, ciao for now, baby. Peace.